What's going on, everybody? It's November 15th, 2022, daily log episode 52. And today we're going to cover S&P 500, and the price action that unfolded and some of the things that happened throughout the Telegram. Honestly, nothing too major happened today. It was a great study for those who watched it live and maybe traded it live and probably took some losses due to the price action, how consolidation formed today. It was really hard to figure out which side of the market. I stated throughout the entire morning and day that I was looking for lower prices. I wanted to see short setups form because that made the most sense logically, seeing that price drove up into the SIBI here. That's inside of a premium. 4-hour time frame, we drove up into that SIBI as well, and same thing with the 1 hour. So we had news prior to the open, 1 hour before the open. And if you looked at ICT's tweet, he ended up buying down here right before the news and then capturing, I don't know how many points, but it was a good amount of change for sure. It was probably about 30, 40 points or so. I wasn't comfortable going long unless we dipped down into the 15-minute busy there. The 5-minute didn't really seem like a super high probability setup to me. And honestly, I was just looking for shorts overall. So after we took out the buy side liquidity and drove into that higher time frame, SIBI, we displaced lower, and I was just monitoring the lower time frames for a setup. So if you look at it, this is really tough conditions, and especially with this model, you can get caught up very easily, and especially if your emotions start to come into play, this can turn into a wild gambling scene. I've been in some of these conditions where I'm buying, I'm selling, I'm buying, and you need to really look at your rules and figure out what qualifies a trade. So I saw price displaced lower here, and then the 8:30 open was right here. I looked at the 1 minute for value gap. There was, I believe, a 2 minute in the same area, 3 minute, a little bit, 4 minute, really nothing there, and even the 5 minute, there was nothing there. So that's the reasoning why, if you look at it closely, there's a small little 5 minute for value gap, but I would need a larger displacement. So I waited, and then price displaced higher and then broke down. So let's reel this back in time just so I can maybe play it out for those of you who may have taken some trades today. After we displaced lower, there was nothing in here for me to go short off of, right? Nothing on a 2 minute. Some would say this for value gap, that's not inside of a premium. 3 minute, nothing there. 4 minute, there's fair value gap, but not inside of a premium. 5 minute, nothing there. Okay, so nothing qualifies us to go short. Price displaces higher. And then I mentioned during this time, I was saying to watch the 30-minute busy. The reason being, with this model, you really want to pay attention to the other side of the curve, like I talked about last night, and seeing how price is respecting that. Sometimes there isn't these areas, there isn't a really nice fair value gap, there isn't an order block on the other side of the curve, which makes it pretty high probability because there's nothing for price to dig into and respect off of. And when you see something like this, it's not a good sign. So, and if you're looking at the 1 hour time frame, there was a mitigation block resting here. So we're digging into that 30-minute busy while digging into the 1 hour mitigation block. Okay. And then I stated here in the Telegram, if you saw a long setup, it was actually, I'm sorry, it was right here, why that would be invalid. Some people might have saw that 30-minute for value gap, trading into a discount, see the displacement higher. You have a fair value gap on the 5 minute, 4 minute, there's a 3 minute, 2 minute, and even a 1 minute. Why is that invalid? Because there's no market structure shift. At least for me, it would need to be above this high here. And this kind of contradicts the overall narrative. The overall narrative is we're looking for lower prices due to the daily time frame. So it really wouldn't make much sense if you look at the midnight open and at least my 7:30 open. Price already displaced extremely high from the open. So you're inside of a premium. If you look at the daily open, above it is premium, below it is discount, right? So this would be your premium, below it would be your discount. We're already so high up inside of a premium, and due to the news we displaced higher, I believe a lot of retail traders are trying to chase that. So for me, it just didn't make much sense to even want to go long, even though it was respecting the 30-minute per value gap. Again, I'm still looking for shorts. So, and there was no market structure shift, so that didn't qualify, and that's the reason why we bled right through it. And then price just consolidated, chopped around. And these type of conditions, you can identify them pretty quickly because price should already be trying to seek one side of the market. It shouldn't be trading aimlessly, right? After we displace lower here, we shouldn't displace higher once more. It should be respecting bearish PD arrays and just trading lower continuously. So this is just trading aimlessly, and as soon as I saw this one as well, I said, I'm out, I'm done for the day. And that protects me, that keeps me away from the markets, keeps me away from making stupid mistakes. So I also stated I wanted to see 39.86 go to the Telegram. I stated this way back, probably even when we were up in here, because that's a nice relative equal low area, and that was setting the high of the day. So I was looking for lower prices. These type of moves, for me, this is personally not missing a move. Even though price dumped a lot, this is not technically missing a move for me because there's nothing in here to qualify me to get into a trade. I mean, maybe if I entered off of the 4-hour or the daily, but there's no really risk or logic to where I'd put my stop loss there. So that's why we use the model to protect ourselves. Sometimes you quote unquote miss moves, but to me, that's really not missing a move because there was no trade or rules or criteria to qualify me to get in. So I believe we ended off just consolidating. I would be looking for lower prices going in tomorrow. I'd be looking for the relative equal lows to be taken out. So coming into tomorrow, 39.51.25 is my overall drawn liquidity. If we do take that out prior to the open, then we'll have to kind of see where we're at that time and then just figure out where price is going. The daily time frame tapped into that volume and bounce once more, but I do believe we can draw down lower into this fair value gap depending on what happens overnight. So that's all I have for today. Until tomorrow, guys, good luck and good trading.